Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this free Ohio Restaurant Association webinar, What You Need to Know, BWC Prospective Billing and Group Enrollment Changes. This ORA Restaurant Education Series event is offered to you through a partnership between the Ohio Restaurant Association, the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, and CareWorks Consultants, Incorporated. I'm Laura Morrison, Director of Member Service and IT with the Ohio Restaurant Association. My primary role is managing the ORA's workers' compensation group rating plans and safety efforts so that they're best in class. Before we get started, I wanted to review a few housekeeping items and let you know how you can participate in today's webinar. During the webinar, we will have a chance for questions. Please type the questions into the chat session and send them to the moderator. We will do our best to answer them all. After the session, you will be sent a survey. Please respond to the survey in order for us to improve our offerings. This is a 30-minute webinar. It's being recorded and will be available on our website in a few days. Currently, we're looking at an example of the GoToWebinar attendee interface, which is made up of two parts. The viewer window on the left, which allows you to see everything the presenter will share on his or her screen, and the control panel at the right. Within that control panel is how you can participate in today's event. So let's look at that. By clicking the orange arrow, you can open and close your control panel. From the View menu, you can also set the control panel not to auto-hide when inactive if you prefer to keep it always open. The audio pane provides audio information. By default, you have joined the webinar via mic and speakers. Click Audio Setup to select your computer speakers or headset devices. If you prefer, you can join the audio via telephone by selecting Use Telephone, and the dial-in information will be displayed, including an audio pin. For the polls we conduct through the session, you can answer right on your screen. For the questions section at the end of the presentation, you can send the questions directly to the webinar staff through the question module. Simply type in your question and click Send. Today's webinar will provide you with information on the new BWC billing system structure, new group enrollment timeframe and dates, and about the BWC's transition to the new system. Why the change? Your expert speakers today are Todd Spence, Ohio BWC Business Consultant, and Teresa Passwater, Program Manager with CareWorks Consultants, Incorporated. And now I'd like to introduce you to Todd Spence from the BWC.
Well, thank you, Laura. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Todd Spence, and I do work for the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation. And today I will be discussing a change that BWC is making, and that is we are implementing a new process called prospective billing. Currently, we bill in arrears or backwards. We are moving to a system where we will actually collect premium prior to the coverage period. So, as I think about this, and as you think about this, the question that I get most often is, why is BWC moving to this new billing system, Todd? And there's a number of reasons. I would say the largest is it's the industry standard. I don't know about you, but all the insurances that I have to pay the premium first, and then I get the coverage. BWC has always kind of done it the opposite way. We give you coverage first, we pay claims without collecting the premium, and then we collect the premium after the fact. That's what we're moving away from. We want to be like all other insurance companies. Another reason or benefit of changing to prospective billing is we are going to be able to offer many different billing options. Currently, for private employers, you pay twice a year. You pay in February every year, and you pay in August every year. You're going to find out in a few moments that we're going to have different options for you that fit your specific company. The reason or the benefit of changing to prospective that I like best is by collecting premium in advance, of the coverage, BWC is going to actually be able to lower our base rates for private employers by 2%. And that will begin July 1, 2015. So July 1, 2015, we will have lower base rates than what they would have been had we been under the old system. And then finally, another benefit is noncompliance and fraud detection. Because we'll be collecting premium prior to the coverage period, we'll be able to identify that easier and better and make sure that everybody is paying their fair share. So the next question I get, Todd, is, all right, that all sounds good, but why should I care? Why does this matter to me? It's a very fair question, and it's probably the best question. The easy answer, the correct answer is you need to care about this because by changing to this prospective process, it is going to impact every employer in Ohio that has a workers' compensation account. Pretty much everything is changing. If you have worked in Ohio workers' compensation for any amount of time, you've always paid twice a year, it was always in arrears, you enrolled in programs at the same time every year, all that's going to be different. Everything is changing. We want to make sure that you are aware of the changes so that you can take the proper actions at the proper times so nothing happens to you that you do not plan for or do not want to happen. So I've been working with prospective billing at BWC for about a year, I would say. And there's lots of dates you're going to hear, lots of processes, and I know when I first started to learn about the information, it was just swirling around in my head. Very hard to kind of comprehend it and really understand what it meant to the employers of Ohio and what was expected from them. So as I went through that process of learning, I really was able to categorize the changes into three separate areas. The first area is the program enrollment date changes. All the enrollment dates for BWC programs are changing, so we'll talk about those, very important. The second area that I would tell you to focus, or I focus on, is how BWC calculates premiums and how employers pay those premiums. So we'll definitely get into those details. And then finally, a new process that BWC is putting into place, and that is called a true-up. And that is something new for all employers, and again, every employer is going to be required to submit a true-up. So we'll talk a little bit of what that means and why you have to submit that to BWC. So first, let's get into some important things. BWC discount programs or BWC safety programs, we want you, the employers, to enroll in whatever program is most beneficial to you. Group rating, group retro, drug-free safety program, industry-specific safety program. We have lots of programs that provide either an upfront discount or provide a rebate or refund at the end of the program if you meet the requirements or if you meet certain performance measurements. We do not want you, as we move to this new system within BWC, we do not want you to miss any of these enrollment dates. So let me highlight a couple of the large ones or significant ones. The first one and the largest program BWC has at BWC is the group rating program. The Ohio Restaurant Association is a sponsor of it. CCI, or CareWorks Consultants, is a TPA or third-party administrator for the program working with ORA. That discount or that enrollment date has always been in February, the end of February. For as long as I can remember, you had to be enrolled in that program by the end of February for the following July 1st start date. That February date is no longer effective. We have moved the enrollment date for group rating back to November 24th of 2014 for the 7/1/2015 policy year. So you think about it, folks. November 24th is a month away. If you have not enrolled with the ORA or some other group sponsor, you're running out of time. So make sure that you take action and know that you have about 30 days to enroll in the group rating program for, again, July 1, 2015. Another of our large programs that's growing and growing is called the Group Retrospective Program, or Group Retro, as most people call it. Group Retro, the application deadline used to be in April, end of April. We are moving that now to the last business day in January. So in 2015, the actual date is January 31st, 2015. I know the screen says the 30th, but it is January 31st, 2015. So if you're interested in the Group Retro program, and again, ORA does have does sponsor a Group Retro program, just make sure you take action or do what you need to do to enroll in it prior to January 31st, 2015. A couple years ago, BWC rolled out what we call Destination Excellence, a Destination Excellence program. And that was a cafeteria style of programs where you could choose many different programs to participate in, and you could combine the discounts for those programs. Again, the examples are the Drug-Free Safety Program, Industry-Specific Safety Program, Transitional Work Bonus are a couple of those programs. You will have until the end of May 29th, 2015, to join any of those programs for July 1, 2015. In all of those programs, you do have to renew and reapply every year. So first item to be aware of as BWC moves towards a prospective billing system is the program enrollment dates have changed. Be aware of what they are and make sure you take advantage of those in a timely manner. The second area, the second item that I would like to make sure you are aware of, and that is the prospective payment process and timing. At BWC, the prospective billing actually becomes effective July 1, 2015. July 1, 2015 is when BWC officially moves to a prospective process where we will be charging premium in advance of the coverage. You'll pay the premium first, and you'll get the coverage after that. Again, in the past and currently, until we move to that prospective billing, BWC for private employers charges premiums every 6 months. We charge it in February every year, and that would be for the previous 6 months. And we charge it the premium in August every year, and again that would be for the previous 6 months. So it's just a constant cycle where every 6 months you make a premium payment, and it's always for those previous 6 months that have already expired. As we move to the prospective system, you'll actually be paying in advance. So keep that in mind as we cover this information. Let's talk a little bit about the timeline of when these changes will occur. The next premium payment that you will make will be in February of 2015. That will be in the normal process that you always follow. So by the end of February 2015, we will send you a payroll report, or you will go onto BWC's website, and you will tell us how much payroll you had for the second 6 months of 2014. So that's the current period we're in right now, right? July 1 of 14 through 12/31 of 14. So in February, you tell us how much payroll you have, you calculate the premium, you pay the premium. That's how we've always done it. So let's move ahead 6 more months. So now, August of 2015, we always talk about there's always a premium payment due in August. In August of 2015, you would have premium due for the first 6 months of 2015. So the premium from 1/1 of 15 through 6/30 of 15, is due by August 31st of 2015. But at that same time in 2015, we have now moved to a prospective process. So now at that same time, BWC is going to estimate your premium for the following 12 months. So in August of 2015, we are going to determine or estimate what your premium is for 7/1/2015 through June 30th, 2016, and then tell you, the employer, okay, here's the premium you owe for the next 12 months, for the next policy year. Well, if you think about that, and if you look at that last bullet point, at that same time in August, you're going to have the first 6 months premium due of 2015, and then you're going to have the premium due for the next 12 months, all at one time. So if nothing has changed, you would owe 2 premium payments to BWC at the same exact time. Well, of course, we're not going to let that happen. BWC does not want that to happen, so that's why we chose this time to make this change. First of all, be aware that even though you have 2 premium payments due during that transition, BWC is not going to bill you twice. You are not going to have to make 2 payments at the same time for your premium. And how are we going to do that? What we are going to do is for the first 6 months of 2015, we are going to give every private employer a transition credit. A transition credit where they will not pay any premium for those 6 months, for that 6-month period. So for the first 6 months of 2015, no premium will actually be due. So how will that happen? Well, in June of 2015, we will send out a payroll report to you, just like we normally do. We will ask you what your payroll was for the first 6 months of 2015. You'll submit that to us, but then we will zero out the premium, so there would be 0 premium due. But we do have to have that payroll so that we can calculate the rates for all employers, including the individual employer. So that's in June, approximately, of 2015. Also in June of 2015, BWC is going to estimate what your premium is for the next 12 months. So we're going to estimate what your premium is for July 1, 2015 through June 30th, 2016. And the way we're going to estimate it, without getting into too much detail today, but we are going to look back at a past 12-month period. We're going to see how much payroll you reported to BWC, and then we're going to use that payroll amount for this following 12-month period and use it to estimate your premium. But we're not going to expect you to pay the full 12-month premium at one time. What we're going to do is we are going to put every employer, beginning July 1, 2015, on an installment plan. So we know what that 12 months of premium estimated is for every employer. We are then going to default or assign everybody a bi-monthly payment plan. So every 2 months, an employer would pay part of that 12-month premium to BWC until that 12-month premium is taken care of. A bi-monthly payment plan is 6 payments over that 12-month coverage period. But we want to make things a little easier for you during that transition, during that first transition from the old way to the new way. So what we're going to do is we are also going to give all private employers another transition credit so that you will not owe any premium for July or August of 2015. So July or August 2015, you will not make any premium payment for that period. So the first 6 months and then July and August of 2015, no premium payment to BWC. The first premium payment you make, the first prospective premium payment you make to BWC will be due by August 31st, 2015. You are going to have options for installment plans. You will get a choice, and we'll show you what those choices are in a quick second, but you will have a choice of what installment plan option you choose each year. You will be able to choose that. As I mentioned, for the first year, employers will be assigned the bi-monthly plan. If you do not make any change, that's the plan that you would follow for that following 12-month period, but you will be able to make a change to another plan. Based upon the installment plan that you choose, BWC then would send an invoice out 30 days prior to the due date, and then you would know when that next actual payment is due. So what are the options? We tried to give you as many reasonable options to make payments that we could at BWC. And as you can see, you have 5 choices. You can choose 1 payment, 2 payments, 4 payments, 6 payments, or 12 payments. You will be allowed to make the choice prior to every July 1st. You will not be able to change it once you are in that 12-month period. You would have to wait until the following year, the following July 1st, to make a change to a different installment plan. So let's move to the final topic for today, the final item you need to be aware of. And this is pretty important, not that the other ones aren't, but this is new. So this is something that you've never heard about, we've never talked about, we've never had this terminology. So make sure when I tell you the date of this that you write it down somewhere, and we'll remind you also, and I know the ORA will remind you of all this information, but again, this is somewhat important. The true-up process. We talked about really every July 1st, BWC is going to estimate your next 12 months of premium based upon a past 12 months of payroll. So we estimate it. You pay the premium. That 12-month ends. Well, then what? Well, BWC, we need the actual payroll for that 12-month period so that we know that we are charging the correct rates to everybody. So we are going to use an item called a true-up process. And what we are going to do is when the period ends, and it's always July 1 through June 30th, when that June 30th ends, we are going to ask you to submit a true-up to BWC and tell us what your actual payroll was for that previous 12-month period. That true-up is going to be due by August 15th following that June 30th every year. The first true-up for all private employers will be August 15th of 2016, and that would cover the 2015 policy year, July 1 of 15 through June 30th of 16. The true-up is going to be required to be online or over the phone, so it will not be a paper document that we send out. We really like it to be done online so it goes right into our system. And if the actual payroll is higher than we estimated, then we would bill you the additional premium. Or if the actual payroll was lower than BWC estimated, then we would give you a credit back. You would get that extra premium back. So we just want it to be right. You know, we're not care if it's higher or lower. We just want it to be right at the end of the day. This is very important. We have to have that actual payroll to set BWC's rates. So for that reason, if a true-up is not submitted by the due date, BWC has determined that if you are in any programs, that you would be removed from those programs and you would lose that discount. So a pretty serious process that you have to be aware of, and that you need to make sure that you submit that true-up timely. Lapses, sometimes employers don't pay their premium on time, and BWC has to lapse their coverage, meaning they do not have coverage until they actually pay the premium that is due. As we move into this new prospective billing process. The lapsing really doesn't change. It stays the same. The only difference is if you are on an installment plan, which everybody will be on, if you do not make one of those installment plan payments, then you would lapse at that point and not be reinstated until you caught up and paid any outstanding premium. Lots of information we're trying to get out there. There's lots of documents. I know when I was talking with Laura before, she shared with me a document on prospective billing that the ORA put together. It had all the important dates and important information, so I know you can get it from your association. BWC also has an area on our website at bwc.ohio.gov where we have lots of different documents also, timelines, trying to get all the information possible out about prospective billing. I know at times it can be overwhelming, but the information is out there. If you forget about it or you want a little more details, you can obtain that from different areas and different resources. So in summary, let me cover the highlights of what I would expect you to pull away from this webinar. Is first of all, the first program enrollment date that is changing is group rating, and we're talking about group rating for July 1, 2015, and that application date is November 24th of 2014. Group retro, it's not on there, but just a reminder, group retro is January 31st of 2015. The first time that you will make a prospective payment, August 31st, 2015. So that's the first time you'll make a prospective payment in advance. The first true-up that you will receive or that you will submit to BWC, August 15th, 2016. Seems a little far out there, but it gets here fast, and I just say put a tickler out or put it on your calendar or something so that you remember it. And then finally, we want this process to be as easy as possible for employers. There's not going to be any double billing. You're not going to be paying any more premium to BWC than you would have under the old process. And the way we do that is we will be giving a transition credit to all private employers. And that means that you would not pay any premium for the first 6 months of 2015, and you would not pay any premium for July or August of 2015. So I appreciate your time, and I believe we are going to take questions at this point.
Yes, we are, and there are a few. So the first question is, what if your payroll processing company is impounding for workers' compensation? How will I be able to continue this method of payment?
Oh, good question. Payroll reporting companies, we are working with those right now. We do not have the process finalized at this point of how prospective billing will work with those payroll companies. So we are meeting with them and working on the process and detailing that all out at this point. So that is not finalized at this time, but it will be in the near future.
Okay, great. And will there be any discounts according to the installment plan that we select?
Okay, so the question is, what if I make one payment, or what if I make two payments? Will I get some kind of discount for making more frequent payments? Is usually the question that we get. And no, there will not be any kind of discounts for making those payments. We are just going to spread out that 12-month estimated premium over however many payments the employer wants. We talked about those. There'll be no discount for paying those all up front, but on the flip side, we will not charge a fee to spread those out either. So if you do 12 monthly payments, we're not going to be tacking on any additional cost. We're just going to take the estimated full premium, divide it by the number of payments, and then that's the actual amount that will be charged to the employer.
Thank you. Next question. Under prospective payment, BWC will estimate my premium for the future policy year based on my past payroll. If I know that my payroll for the upcoming year will be significantly different than the past, can I have BWC change the estimate?
We get that question a lot. What if the estimate is different? It's not valid, and I know that I'm going to double my company size, or we're buying somebody else, and my premium is going to be, or payroll is going to be a lot higher than it was in the past. BWC, we will have a process in place where when we send you the estimate, the estimated premium for that 12-month period, if you believe it's going to be significantly different, higher or lower, we will have a way for you to inform BWC of that change. We will then adjust the premium based upon the different estimated payroll, and then we would determine the premium and then the payment plan based upon that. So the answer is yes, we will have a process where an employer will be able to modify their estimated payroll based upon information they know that BWC does not.
Thank you. How do you select payment frequencies?
So we will offer a payment plan option or payment plan options. We are going to have an online option where on BWC's website, employers prior to July 1st would be able to go out to our website and choose what payment plan they want for that following 12-month period. Now, I will just put one qualifier in there, and that is I was just talking to our IT department just earlier this week, and for the July 1, 2015 policy year, the first time we actually moved to Prospective, that option of making the change will not be available on our website. We will have a different process. We have not figured that out yet. Employers will still be able to make the change, but they may have to call in to BWC's 1-800 number or some other way to tell us that they don't want that bi-monthly installment plan. They want one of the other options.
And this question is kind of a follow-up to that one. If I pick an installment plan, can I change to another installment plan midway through the year, or do I have to wait to the beginning of the next policy year?
Yeah, that's another question we get quite often is, Todd, I chose whatever, bi-monthly. I chose six payments. Halfway through, I started making more money. You know what, I want to move to an annual payment or some other payment plan. BWC will keep you on your same installment plan through the 12-month period. We will not allow employers to switch payment plans. They would have to wait until the following July 1st to make a change for that next rating period.
Great. Next question is, are wages still subject to the annual maximum taxable wage under this program?
Yes, under the prospective billing, none of the officer minimum and maximums or construction limits, none of that will change. All those limits will stay in place just as they are in place today.
Okay, still time for another question or two, but we may want to move on. You can still continue to ask some questions, but we'll go on to our next speaker.
Thanks, Todd. Also with us today is Teresa Passwater with CareWorks Consultants. She manages the ORA's workers' compensation group rating plans and has a few pointers for you.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you, Todd, for the detailed information. CCI will continue to educate the ORA members over the next year on these changes, and please feel free to contact me at any time if you have questions about the prospective billing or even your individual group rating status. There are a lot of new deadlines, as you've just heard, and we will work with the ORA to make sure we are reminding you about these along the way. Also, as Todd mentioned, the group rating deadline is much earlier now. So if you have a group offer from us, we do need the paperwork back by November 19th to ensure a timely filing of the group on November 24th. If you've received a group retro offer from us and you're not sure of your best option, even in regards to the Destination Excellence programs as well. CCI is hosting webinars on the difference between the different savings plans every other Tuesday morning. So contact myself or Laura, and we will be sure to get you the schedule.
Great. Thanks so much, Teresa. So now what? Workers' compensation in Ohio can be both challenging to navigate and extremely costly if companies fail to follow the rules established by the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation. ORA and CCI partner to develop plans that are right for your organization and to provide you with the information you need to make informed decisions. The Workers' Compensation section of the ORA website details for you how to navigate the Ohio BWC system and enroll in the specific group or program that fits your company, enabling you to save time, money, and safeguard your business. So check out the website listed above for more information and a great new calendar of events that Todd talked about, and that should help you navigate through all of the upcoming dates and challenges. Changes, not challenges, changes. So when 1,000 things pile up, it's easy to overlook the importance of health and safety issues, and that's dangerous. ORA's health and safety section of our website, ohiorestaurant.org, helps you stay on top of concerns, offering solutions to today's restaurant, food, and alcohol safety issues by providing policies, manuals, webinars, and resource links. Check these out today by heading over to ohiorestaurant.org, Health and Safety. In addition to these valuable resources, annually we publish a special theme issue of our a la carte quarterly magazine focusing on safety and workers' compensation, covering such topics as cultivating a safety culture promotes business success, understanding the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation rating system so that you can find out factors that your rates are based on. So you have a claim that happened, what are the next steps? The BWC explains the Safety Intervention Grant Program, and about leveling the playing field so you understand how to manage questionable claims. Distributed early this year, the electronic version is available on the ORA website under the News section. As you can see through these resources, our experts are available to support you. Because of the support, a very high percentage of ORA members participate in the ORA Workers' Compensation Group Rating Plan. This results in offering the best workers' compensation group rating plan for the Ohio restaurant industry. The ORA group has a high rate of member satisfaction with a consistent 95% retention rate. Unfortunately, you won't know until you've had a claim how important service is to the future of your business. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Todd and Teresa for providing their expert advice. Please take a moment to fill out the survey link that will pop up after the end of this webinar. We appreciate your time in completing this as we continue to plan future RES events. Shown on the slide you're looking at now are some of the events coming up in the next few months. You won't want to miss them. Thank you for your participation today and for your continued investment with the Ohio Restaurant Association through membership. This ends today's webinar.